Two massive torrents of energy collided with a thunderous roar above the sky. The violent surges of energy spread out, forming two enormous energy waterfalls, each tens of thousands of feet long. One waterfall glowed with brilliant seven-colored light, while the other was a deep, sinister black, an ominous shade of darkness. Boom, boom, boom. The two surging waves collided in the sky, causing both to collapse. However, at the moment of their collapse, two figures, positioned in opposite directions, shot out at incredible speed. Xiao Xia, wielding a seven-colored spear, slashed through the air, and a massive spatial rift, tens of thousands of feet long, was torn apart. Countless fragments of space spun at high speed in midair, sweeping forward like a storm toward the Venom Demon Emperor. On the opposite side, the Venom Demon Emperor extended his demonic hand forward. The overwhelming demonic energy quickly condensed in midair into countless massive spears, each 100 feet long, which surged toward Xiao Xia, colliding with the space fragments. Whoosh! In the center of the collision, Xiao Xiao's figure pierced through the chaos. Her seven-colored spear, with the power to pierce anything, pointed directly at the Venom Demon Emperor. The latter, upon seeing this, sneered coldly. With a flip of his palm, a small black needle appeared. As Xiao Xia approached, she saw the black needle in the Venom Demon Emperor's hand. Although she couldn't discern anything particularly unusual about it, her instincts told her that the lack of any visible oddity was, in fact, the most suspicious thing of all. Sensing danger, Xiao Xia swiftly changed the trajectory of her spear. The sharp tip tore through space as she aimed it at the Venom Demon Emperor's hand. At that moment, the Venom Demon Emperor flicked his fingers, sending the tiny black needle flying to collide with Xiao Xiao's piercing spear strike. Silence. The clash was completely unexpected, as there was no sound at all. Not because it was too faint to hear, but because there was simply no sound. This is wrong. Perhaps due to the bloodline of the seven-colored sky-devouring python in her veins, Xiao Xiao's senses were far sharper than those of ordinary people. Realizing something was off, Xiao Xiao's first reaction was not to retreat, but to throw the seven-colored spear away, and in the same instant, she shot backward at full speed. It was only when she retreated that Xiao Xia saw the source of the danger. From the tip of the discarded spear, a deep black energy began to surge forth, quickly enveloping the entire spear. In an instant, the seven-colored spear transformed into a demonic spear, and this demonic spear, clang! Xiao Xia saw a black beam flash past her cheek. By the time she recovered, she felt blood flowing down her face from a deep cut. This was the first time she had ever bled in a fight. Not far away, Xiao Yin sighed helplessly. Xiao Xiao's combat experience was still lacking compared to the Venom Demon Emperor. The Venom Demon Emperor had just used a unique technique from his clan, an eerie venomous art that allowed him to take control of anything his enemy wielded, transforming it into something he could command. Xiao Xia hadn't expected that her own spear would turn on her, so she didn't react in time. But Xiao Xiao's true predicament was only just beginning. Haha, little girl, you think you can challenge me? You're still 1,000 years too early. The Venom Demon Emperor mocked with a sinister smile, then struck forward with a palm. A terrifying force distorted the very space around Xiao Xia, turning it into a vortex. In the next instant, the vortex collapsed, and a flood of demonic energy exploded outward like a volcanic eruption. Xiao Xia was swallowed by the black demonic energy, and everything fell silent. Thousands of miles away, Xiao Tianshan and the others saw this scene, their expressions instantly changing. This was a Do-Di powerhouse of the Xiao clan, someone who was rarely seen even once in a millennium. Could she really be suppressed like this by the Venom Demon Emperor? If anything happened to her, the loss to the Xiao clan would be catastrophic. And that man who had been quietly observing from the side, was he really her father? Boom, boom, boom. The overwhelming surge of demonic energy swept through space, obscuring everything. Within it, Xiao Xia was completely invisible. Seeing this, the Venom Demon Emperor placed his left hand behind his back and waved his right hand. A massive demonic sphere, formed entirely of demonic energy, suspended beside him. Inside the sphere was Xiao Xiao, grievously wounded. The Venom Demon Emperor controlled the massive sphere. His gaze turned toward Xiao Yin in the distance. "Let me go, and I will release your daughter," the Venom Demon Emperor said to Xiao Yin. With a flick of his hand, a destructive wave emanated from the massive magic sphere beside him. This enormous sphere contained most of the Venom Demon Emperor's power. As long as he wished, he could detonate it at any moment. The explosive force would be beyond the tolerance of even a one-star Do-D, let alone Xiao Xia, who was at the very center of the explosion. The power at that location would be even more terrifying. Clearly, the Venom Demon Emperor was threatening Xiao Yin with Xiao Xiao's life. But Xiao Yan's response left the Venom Demon Emperor stunned. "You speak as if Xiao Xia cannot be saved unless I let you go," Xiao Yin said with little change in his expression. His eyes fixed on the massive magic sphere under the Venom Demon Emperor's control, and a mocking smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. "Since you've made that choice, I'll just take your daughter to the grave with you." Xiao Yan's attitude completely surprised the Venom Demon Emperor. Now, he had been forced into a corner. He raised his right hand and aimed it at the massive magic sphere, intending to crush it. However, at that moment, boom! Before the Venom Demon Emperor's hand could even grip the sphere, a deafening explosion shook the heavens and earth. A terrifying shockwave radiated from the Venom Demon Emperor's side, sending him flying several miles away. As he stabilized himself in midair, his face turned pale with horror. He watched as the magic sphere, once in his control, was torn apart by an overwhelming force, detonating in a tremendous explosion. The entire magic sphere was ripped apart by a terrifying power. From the wreckage, a massive figure slowly emerged. The figure stretched for tens of thousands of feet, shimmering in 7 colors, just like the 7-colored sky-devouring python from earlier. But this time, it was not made of condensed energy. It was a real living creature. The 7-colored sky-devouring python. Above the massive python, a figure clad in 7-colored armor hovered in mid-air. However, her aura was far weaker than before. It was Xiao Xia. The Venom Demon Emperor, standing tens of thousands of feet away, was slightly shaken as he looked at Xiao Xia. He hadn't expected her to break through his suppression using her own strength. Moreover, how had the 7-colored sky-devouring python appeared under her command? "So, you've even raised a pet? This truly surprises me." The Venom Demon Emperor chuckled mockingly as he looked at the python. However, he wasn't worried. The 7-colored sky-devouring python's power was still weaker than Xiao Xiao's, only at the 9-star Dosheng level. Such a creature had no place in a battle of their caliber. "Disgusting creature," Xiao Xia retorted with a hint of nausea, remembering the agonizing experience inside the magic sphere. If not for the protection of the sky-devouring armor, the demonic energy would have already corroded her skin into blackened patches. Even if she could push the energy away, her skin would have been rotten by now. "Do you still think you're a match for me?" The Venom Demon Emperor narrowed his eyes and sneered at Xiao Xia. He immediately activated the remaining demonic power in his body. A massive vortex of demonic energy formed in the sky behind him, stretching for hundreds of thousands of feet. Inside the vortex, the Venom Demon Emperor's final, most terrifying power was being concentrated. Boom! The enormous demonic vortex twisted the sky as it unleashed a dark figure, tens of thousands of feet tall. The figure had a massive eye in the center of its chest, capable of corrupting one's mind. For enormous arms, each over 10,000 feet long, stretched out from the figure. At the palms of each arm was a purple demonic eye. Tens of thousands of miles away, Xiao Heavenly God and the others were stunned by the sight. They had read about something similar in the clan's ancient texts. Such a figure could only be summoned by someone who had reached the true level of a Do-D. Once unleashed, the destructive power of this being was unimaginable. Even ordinary Do-D powerhouses would find it nearly impossible to resist. That was the emperor body of Do-Chi. Xiao Heavenly God and the others anxiously watched Xiao Xia, wondering if she had any chance of fighting back against such a terrifying power. Now, all they could do was hope that Xiao Xia would win. At this moment, Xiao Xia, facing the Venom Demon Emperor, looked extremely serious. Every one of his tricks had caught her off guard. Could she really win if this kept up? But if she didn't win, she couldn't go to the Great Thousand Worlds with her father to find her mother. That was something she couldn't accept. Xiao Xia had to go to the Great Thousand Worlds. Grinding her silver teeth, Xiao Xia made a decision. If this was the result, she might as well gamble everything. Seeing that she had made up her mind, Xiao Xia directly placed her finger on her mouth and decisively bit down without hesitation. Immediately, the crimson blood began to flow down, and below her, the seven-colored sky-devouring python opened its mouth at that moment. "Little Kai, you must make me proud this time." Xiao Xia passed the blood she had drawn directly to the seven-colored sky-devouring python. After absorbing the blood, the python's aura began to surge wildly, quickly approaching the level of a Do-D powerhouse. As its aura surged, its already massive body, tens of thousands of feet long, expanded further, growing even larger within a few breaths. Boom! A terrifying surge of energy erupted from the body of the seven-colored sky-devouring python, like a tidal wave, bursting out with the power of a true Do-D. Its body grew to over 100,000 feet long. However, this wasn't because the python had broken through to the Do-D level. Rather, it had temporarily gained the strength of a Do-D by devouring Xiao Xiao's bloodline, her Do-D blood burning inside it. The pain it endured was something only the python knew, but it did this for Xiao Xiao. Hiss! The seven-colored sky-devouring python flicked its massive crimson tongue, its eyes turning blood red. It locked its gaze on the true form of the Venom Demon Emperor ahead. Xiao Xiao had given it strength so that it could confront that Venom Demon Emperor. "Little Kai, I've given you 1/6 of my essence blood. For the next 10 minutes, you'll have the true power of a Do-D." Xiao Xiao's face had paled, and she withdrew her now slightly white arm. The wound on her arm healed automatically. Giving away 1/6 of her essence blood was a huge loss for her, but it was necessary. She could not guarantee defeating the Venom Demon Emperor otherwise. The next action that Xiao Xiao took caused even Xiao Yin, who was far away, to be shaken. From the center of Xiao Xiao's forehead, two symbols emerged. One was the Xiao clan rune, and the other was the nine-colored sky-devouring python rune. These two symbols represented the bloodlines of two different Do-D powerhouses. Since they had been activated at different times, Xiao Xiao was unable to fully merge them. For someone like Xiao Lin, who had his Do-D bloodline activated from birth, he wouldn't face this issue. The next scene made Xiao Yan's body tremble. He had once fused Do-Chi with soul power and had also fused different attributes of heavenly flames. But what he saw now was something he had never even heard of. Under Xiao Xiao's control, the two symbols on her forehead slowly began to merge, and the two completely different bloodline powers collided. The scene was even more intense than the fusion of heavenly flames. The Do-D bloodline before and after activation was completely different. It was like the difference between ordinary fire and the earth-shattering heavenly flames. Activated Do-D bloodlines were equivalent to transforming ordinary fire into flames with the power of destruction, comparable to the top three heavenly flames. Merging two Do-D bloodlines was far more difficult than merging the top three heavenly flames. Boom! As Xiao Xiao fused the two Do-D bloodline symbols, her blood seemed to boil as if it were being scalded. The pain was even worse than having all her blood drained. Her entire body flushed red as terrifying destructive waves of energy surged from her body, threatening to tear her apart at any moment. Her soul also risked suffering fatal damage. Seeing this, Xiao Yin clenched his fists tightly. No matter what, Xiao Xiao was his daughter. Although this method could bring out her full potential, one wrong move, and she could truly perish here. Although Xiao Yin had already mastered the Dimension Embryo, which would allow him to repair her body if it exploded, repairing the soul and consciousness would be another matter. He knew that only by reaching 100% dimension fusion could he truly restore a soul, and he had only achieved 90% fusion. Xiao Yin began to hesitate. Should he really let Xiao Xiao walk between life and death? However, such things left no room for hesitation. Aha! A heart-wrenching scream erupted from Xiao Xiao's mouth. Upon seeing this, the Venom Demon Emperor, not far away, showed a wild expression of joy. He immediately activated his enormous demon emperor form, and a gigantic hand, over 10,000 feet tall, descended like a mountain, aiming to crush Xiao Xia. However, at that moment, the seven-colored sky-devouring python under Xiao Xia also sharpened its gaze. Its massive tail suddenly lashed out, meeting the descending demon emperor's hand with a violent crash. The two terrifying forces collided, directly shattering a vast space of tens of thousands of feet. Then, the seven-colored sky-devouring python and the venom demon emperor's true body were both sent flying apart. Their collision was evenly matched, but this was not because the seven-colored sky-devouring python could truly contend with the venom demon emperor's true body. Rather, it was because the venom demon emperor had already lost a large portion of his power to Xiao Xia earlier. Despite this, the venom demon emperor's true body could still resist the seven-colored sky-devouring python, a creature with the power of a Do-D. Hiss! The seven-colored sky-devouring python flicked its crimson tongue. Its gaze locked onto the venom demon emperor and his true body. It knew that Xiao Xia had sacrificed 1/6 of her blood essence to temporarily hold off the venom demon emperor, at least until Xiao Xia succeeded. However, the power within the python could only sustain this effort for 10 more minutes. Hiss! The seven-colored sky-devouring python seemed to be fired up. Its massive mouth opened, and vast do-chi gathered into a colossal, tens of thousands of feet long beam of seven-colored light, crashing directly toward the venom demon emperor's true body. Guarding your master, huh? Then I'll kill you first. The venom demon emperor coldly remarked as the enormous eyes on his true body rotated, and the surrounding demonic energy began to gather wildly, transforming into a massive black beam that shot forward. Boom! The seven-colored light beam and the black beam collided, both annihilating each other. Yet the battle did not stop there. The seven-colored sky-devouring python unleashed more massive seven-colored light beams, blocking every possible path of the venom demon emperor and his true body. This relentless assault drained the python's strength rapidly, pushing it closer to exhaustion within 10 minutes. Boom, boom, boom. The battle between the seven-colored sky-devouring python and the venom demon emperor raged on. Meanwhile, behind the python, the two activated Do-D bloodlines were still fusing. Xiao Yin could successfully fuse multiple heavenly flames because of the burning decision, but Xiao Xia had no such technique. Time to risk it. Xiao Xia raised her palm and slapped it against her chest, spitting out a large mouthful of blood. This time, it was more than the blood she had previously given to the seven-colored sky-devouring python. All this essence blood flowed into the python's body, further enhancing its power. Xiao Xiao's intent was not to worry about the python being unable to hold the venom demon emperor off, but rather to ensure she could fuse the activated Do-D bloodlines. To do so, she needed to reduce the amount of blood she would have to merge. Right now, less than half of her blood remained in her body. At this point, a normal person would have already gone into shock and faced death, but Xiao Xia relied on her indomitable willpower, sitting cross-legged in midair. She plunged her soul consciousness deep into her body, then began to burn part of her soul power to assist in the fusion of the two activated Do-D bloodlines. This was the cost. Sizzle, sizzle. White smoke billowed from Xiao Xiao's body, her soul being evaporated in the process. Only by paying such a price could she fuse the two activated Do-D bloodlines. Far away, Xiao Yin, worried, watched this unfold, knowing the toll it would take on her soul. Boom, boom, boom. The seven-colored sky-devouring python unleashed its most ferocious attacks as violent energy shockwaves spread across the world. The space around them shattered and slowly healed, creating a chaotic scene. Within a radius of 10,000 miles, even a 9-star Do Sheng powerhouse would not dare to approach. This gave the Venom Demon Emperor no chance to divert his attention to Xiao Xia. However, he sneered because he knew exactly what Xiao Xia was doing, and he didn't believe she could succeed. If Xiao Xia failed outright, he would win. Then, dealing with the seven-colored giant python would be all that was left. Crash! Blood-red light began to surge from Xiao Xiao's body, containing extremely violent energy. These chaotic energies, formed from the evaporated blood essence, spread like a blood mist enveloping the valley. Seeing this, Xiao finally breathed a sigh of relief. Phew, this little girl is clever, Xiao muttered. His previous fear was that Xiao might be overwhelmed by the violent power, which would inevitably tear her apart. Even with the soul strength of an emperor, she could not sustain this kind of energy for long. In this case, Xiao had taken a two-pronged approach. She expelled the violent energy from her body, but expelling this energy was the same as expelling all of her blood. In such a short time, she would die from blood loss, but even a few minutes was enough. She gave up her blood, but her soul remained intact. A raging blood-red light enveloped the area around Xiao within 100,000 zhang. From tens of thousands of miles away, it resembled a fiery red sun. This sun, however, was actually formed by the intertwining of two activated Do-D bloodline powers. When they evaporated into mist, it was the easiest state for them to fuse. In this state, Xiao's soul body began to push for the fusion of these two powers. The massive blood sphere, spanning 100,000 zhang, started to emit terrifying waves of energy. After about 3 minutes, the fiery red blood sphere began shifting to a blue hue. Following this, the temperature surged dramatically, but it was under this extreme heat that the two originally incompatible bloodlines began to fuse. The higher the temperature, the faster the fusion progressed. In just 1 minute, nearly a quarter of the activated bloodlines had completed their fusion. However, during this minute, Xiao also lost more of her vitality. Xiao furrowed his brow, knowing that what followed would determine whether Xiao would die first, or whether the fusion of the two activated bloodlines would succeed. If the former failed, the latter would succeed. But after this, Xiao soon found himself worrying less. Gulyulu. Inside the now slightly blurry blue blood sphere, the fused Do-D bloodlines began to flow into Xiao's body under her command, drop by drop. Xiao initially thought Xiao would wait for the full fusion before infusing them into her body, but now she was injecting the bloodline power bit by bit as it fused. This way, as long as 2/3 of the bloodline fusion was completed, Xiao would be able to avoid death. Xiao smiled slightly, feeling proud. Xiao truly was his daughter, still able to use the most rational method to deal with these difficulties even in such a perilous moment. Meanwhile, the seven-colored sky-devouring python continued to exert its full strength to block the Venom Demon Emperor. After enduring a fierce confrontation that lasted 5 to 6 minutes, the python's momentum began to weaken, clearly showing signs of fatigue. However, it still fought on desperately for Xiao. This perseverance lasted until the 8th minute. Boom! A dull, thunderous roar suddenly echoed through the heavens and earth. The blood sphere, radiating a faint blue light, finally began to shrink. Its original massive size, spanning 100,000 zhang, reduced to less than 10,000 zhang in just 10 breaths. By the 9th minute, the blood sphere had shrunk to less than 100 zhang. From a distance, Xiao observed the shrinking blood sphere. He knew that Xiao had successfully infused 2/3 of the bloodline power into her body. Now, only the final bit remained. Once absorbed, everything would be complete, and Xiao would see a massive surge in power. How is this possible? The Venom Demon Emperor stared at the shrinking blood sphere behind the seven-colored sky-devouring python. He could sense a terrifying aura emanating from the sphere. And what was most terrifying was that this aura was growing stronger, reaching the peak of a 1-star Do-D. Get out of the way. Seeing this scene, the Venom Demon Emperor finally sensed true danger. He roared angrily, charging straight toward the seven-colored sky-devouring python. His true body exuded a frenzied wave of energy, growing increasingly chaotic. The Venom Demon Emperor planned to use a self-destructive attack to destroy the python's defense. But just then, boom! A blast rang out from behind the seven-colored sky-devouring python. A burst of blue light erupted, and at the center of this blue radiance, a brilliant seven-colored light expanded, forming a massive energy serpent that stretched for over 100,000 zhang across the sky. On this energy serpent, a figure bathed in seven-colored light stood, floating in the air. The woman stood suspended high in the sky, looking down at the Venom Demon Emperor below. Compared to a few minutes ago, she had completely transformed. As she gazed at the figure, a look of relief appeared on Xiao Yan's face. Even far away, Xiao Heavenly God and the others were kneeling in awe before this godlike woman. Because that was the empress of the Xiao clan, Xiao Xiao. She had succeeded, and her power had once again reached new heights. In the sky, Xiao Xiao stood, gazing at the Venom Demon Emperor's true body charging toward the seven-colored sky-devouring python. Her face remained expressionless as she flipped her palm. A brand-new seven-colored spear materialized in her hand. "You're not worthy to hurt my little Kai." Her cold voice echoed as the seven-colored spear shot forward. It expanded rapidly in midair and, in an instant, transformed into a colossal seven-colored spear that reached 100,000 zhang in length. The collision between the two did not result in a terrifying explosion, nor was there even a sound. Only the look of shock and horror on the Venom Demon Emperor's face hinted at the outcome. This was because the entire body of the Demon Emperor had been pierced by the massive seven-colored giant spear. The enormous eye at the center of the Demon Emperor's true form completely disappeared, leaving behind a massive hole, tens of thousands of feet wide.